Having recently surpassed a human population of 7 billion, agriculture has remained the heart of civilization on Earth. And for an issue that goes straight to the heart of humanity, world agriculture today is plagued by facts that cannot go unnoticed. Facts that leave billions of people in dire need of food and innovative agricultural technologies for sustainable food production, now and in the future. Africa. Though a continent with an abundance of rainfall, natural resources, and fertile agricultural land, Africa is perennially plagued with a food crisis, predominantly as a result of poor farming methods and a lack of proper supportive infrastructure and policies. Somalia. Somalia's food and farming situation is a unique example of the dire state of Africa's agricultural sector. Known for its strategic location at the Horn of Africa, Somalia was once a booming center of commerce and dominated the regional trade market. The country is privileged with rich agricultural lands, abundant livestock, and a long coastline with valuable natural resources. However, as a result of decades of conflict, the nation is now being overwhelmed with constant drought, lack of agricultural productivity and policy, and renewed armed conflict, resulting in one of the world's worst refugee crises, with well over 1.5 million people displaced within Somalia or fleeing to neighboring countries. This is Jama Ibrahim Elmai. He manages a farm in the Diri Ma'an County of the Odal region in northern Somalia. Despite the land being fertile and full of the appropriate nutrients, agricultural productivity has been very low for Jama. Due to a lack of knowledge specific to vegetable production practices, his farm does not yield enough tomatoes to sell to the market in return for cash, leaving him little to nothing to invest back into the farm. Added to his list of struggles, Jama is unable to afford to send his children to school, but rather needs them working at the family farm. Like Jama, the situation is no different for other farmers in Somalia. Abdullah, another farmer in the region, also suffers from the same low productivity with his farm. Without the proper building blocks of knowledge, a lack of agricultural inputs, and a lack of governance and agricultural policy, any efforts made by local farmers to re-establish and sustain agricultural stability in Somalia are left wasted. Despite the billions of donor aid dollars that have been poured into Somalia in recent years, Somali citizens are still suffering at a grand scale. The large amounts of donor funds and food aid injected into the Somali economy have not made any meaningful impact on the impoverished state, suffering from food insecurity and low agricultural productivity. Over the past years, it has been much more convenient for locals to be dependent on foreign aid than to be reliant on expensive homegrown goods. Ideally, Somalia, with its abundance of natural resources in livestock, agriculture, and fisheries, should not be a country suffering from food shortages and starvation. With the second largest coastline in Africa, it has the potential to be an agriculturally self-reliant country and a regional economic capital. However, because of the lack of proper management of these resources, Somalia has yet to reach its potential and has seen much civil strife, violence, and poverty. To meet its domestic demand for food import dependence in Somalia has reached an all-time high. Over the past several years, billions of dollars of food aid has been poured into Somalia, helping the nation meet short-term dietary requirements. However, for a country to be food secure, it must enhance its long-term strategic goals and create opportunities for investment and employment in key sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, livestock, and fisheries. When the economic state of the country is conditioned by the amount of aid, then it makes it extremely difficult for local farmers like Jama to successfully produce and sell his agricultural produce in a market where the cheaper, if not free, food aid is preferred.
Actually, like the food aid that's coming into Somalia, where the farmers are unable to compete with this free food that is given, especially coming during the harvest time. So this is really a major problem. And the drought in 2011, of course, with all the good intentions of bringing food and cash and everything into Somalia, it will have, or it had also its own negative aspect of it. So the food aid is a continuous process, and this is something that has been going on for a long time and really affecting the production and the farmers' performance.
Somali Agriculture Technical Group, better known as SAGE, is an organization dedicated to assisting in the reconstruction of Somalia and its agricultural heritage. SAGE employs a unique mix of both practical and scientific expertise to assist Somali farmers, guiding them to new and innovative approaches for a more efficient agricultural production.
Well, SATG stands for Somali Agriculture Technical Group. It is a non-profit organization that was established in 2001 in Charlotte, North Carolina. So basically, the mission and the objectives of SAGE is to strive for peace and prosperity through sustainable agriculture development.
SAGE's unique and successful approach has really made them a leader amongst NGOs in Somalia, earning partnerships from world-renowned organizations and academic institutions such as USAID, DAI, FAO, UNICEF, CIMMYT, and the University of Minnesota. Their approach is straightforward and highly effective. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. SAGE focuses on real-world practical applications when working in cooperation with partners and farmers. SAGE implements innovative ideas and uses the latest technologies through rigorous trials and evaluation studies on the ground. Over the years, SAGE has been involved in a wide range of development programs and research projects geared towards obtaining real-world solutions to agricultural and developmental challenges facing the Somali people. In one project with CIMMYT, SAGE took the initiative with the use of new technology to improve the production of maize, Somalia's most important food crop. SAGE's initiatives and supported programs are mainly aimed at solving the problem of continuous dependence on food aid and food imports in Somalia by providing local farmers with tailored innovative solutions. These solutions in turn increase agricultural productivity and household incomes and ultimately raise the nation's gross domestic product.
iyo qolada la yiraahdo jaamacadda Camuud saddexda qolo ay wada shaqeynayaan mar walba idin yimaada yaani waxtarkoodii hada soo duubta had qiyaas kale waa barasho aqoolkii hore iga maqnayd oo xaga shuruucda shaqada sida looga shaqeeyo sida wax loo soo saarto fikrada iga maqnaaba oo dhan buu ka faa'iiday oo isleedahay marka noloshaada iyo faa'iida halka ka soo korodhay طبعا ده واحد يمكن دريتين waxaanad hore heri jirin aad heshay marka ma isleedahay waxyaalo kale aad kordhinaysaa sida beertoo kale inaad ballaariso wax soo saarkaaga aad kordhiso noloshaada qayb ka mid ah magaalada ka ama heerka noloshaada uu kor u kaco khaasa bay kugu noqonaysaa de waayo kolkii hore shaqadaydii iyo tijaabo ahayd halka intaanay ku eekayd de intaasiba imka way ku beeri kartaa waa faa'iidada iga soo gashay fikradda waad sheegaysaa de imka intana ku dar waxaad ku qorshaysan dhulka ballaariso inta tacabka sii kordhi ay wax u qabsan lahaayeen ay farsamadani lug ugu yeelani lahaayeen wax soo saarna ay u yeelani lahaayeen oo isku tacalujin lahaayeen un baan kala xajoonaya oo ku warinaya iyaga hadba kii soo marana war sidana looga shaqeeya waa maskax la barayo qofka aan kuna baraarujinayo inuu wax qabsado waxa weeyaan xaggan doona ku beeran سؤال كلكم هيا
Appropriate agricultural technologies are fundamental in enhancing food security and alleviating poverty in Somalia. The adoption of appropriate technologies by farmers is the basis for increasing agricultural production, which in turn contributes to improved food security and poverty alleviation. After 2 decades of disarray and dysfunctional agriculture systems in Somalia, SAJ is playing a major role in paving the way for the introduction of innovative approaches to technology testing and transfer throughout the country. SAJ also provides tailored support to different organizations that require training and workshop facilitation services in Somalia. SAJ has run several workshops throughout the years on behalf of various stakeholders, including representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture in Somaliland and Puntland, international and local NGOs, agro-dealers, and independent experts.
Well, SAJ has taken a number of initiatives in the past few years that we have been engaged in the agriculture sector in Somalia. Among the initiatives that we have taken includes, for example, introduction and testing of technologies and dissemination of technologies as well. This we have done in various parts of Somalia. We have done it in Somaliland in connection with Amoud University and DAI. We're doing it in South Central Somalia, and we have done it in Puntland as well.
والله waxaan isticmaalaa horta qofkii beeralaydi maalin walba wada joogtiin dadkii waad isfahmaysiin.
There are many objectives to these SAJ-related workshops. Some of them are to understand the current and emerging context of agriculture in Somalia, to identify the key technical and institutional opportunities for agricultural reform in Somalia, to develop a list of strategic options that SAJ can facilitate and implement. The goal of these strategies is to ultimately enhance delivery of agricultural support and research services. And finally, to identify and develop modalities, including resources, to fast-track the implementation of agricultural services.
Well, the vision for 2020 is to increase the production per unit area as well as a productivity for the whole economic sector in Somalia, like the agriculture, livestock, and fishery as well. Now, by increasing the production, you basically creating more jobs for the younger generation, for the youth in particular. And also you're increasing the revenue by seeking the local as well as international markets. Now, 2 good examples that are working at the moment is the example for the sesame production in the Middle Shabelle area, which is really generating revenue for the country by exporting the sesame to the Middle Eastern countries. And the other example, a success story in the country for export of livestock animals into the Middle Eastern country. So this is, the livestock is a major revenue generating sector, and we need also to build other sectors as well by increasing the production and productivity, and also putting up the whole value chain of the agriculture system together. Now, by doing this and engaging in these activities, the vision for 2020 is to increase the production and bring peace, stability, and prosperity into the country. And this ties up nicely with our vision of SAJ vision, which is to strive for peace and prosperity through sustainable agriculture development.